Hello everyone and welcome. I am Demon Monkey and with me I have John once again and we have another amazing replay from Mr. cYong. That's what the C does stand for up there. You see CLRT, it also stands for Clarity. And he is in our top left corner as our red Protoss.
Yeah, and in the bottom right we have the blue Protoss Pleasuremind.
Now, one thing that is extremely dominant in PvP right now is Void Rays, because they do extra damage against armored. They're really great against stalkers. Now, of course, not stalkers when they're masked, but they're good against few 5 or 7 stalkers if you have 2 or 3 Void Rays. And
Yeah,
they just rip through immortals and everything else.
The ability that the Voiders have now just to instantly have that charge up whenever.
Yes, the prismatic alignment, really great ability there.
Very powerful, very, very powerful.
And I think what really kind of sets it off, what kind of play they're going to be doing, are they going to do a proxy Stargate? Are they going to, are they going to go for some Oracle harass early, which is also extremely viable? But it really depends on the gas timings, If they get up 1 gas and then take an expansion, it's like, oh, okay, well then they're gonna want to mass up a little bit of an army and then be super on the aggressive. But if they take 2 gases really fast, that's kind of a hint right there that, hey, I'm gonna start saving up this gas for later in the game because gas is a good unit.
Yeah, if that early gas is a pretty big tell on what you're going to be doing or what you're going to be attempting to do later in the game.
Now, getting 1 gas out as for Protoss in this matchup is actually pretty standard because you want to get that Warp Gate out. Because Warp Gate is so good, you can be offensive with it. It's also faster at warping your units in the warp cycles. And you can just have more of a safe feeling when once you get up that Warp Gate tech. So that's normally why there's an early gas. But both players taking their second assimilators at around the same time. Only a 4-second delay there. And, this instantly hints to me Stargate or Robo play, or some really fast DTs out of the spot.
Ooh, I would love to see fast DTs. I haven't seen DT play in forever.
And we see 2 gateways being added, so this is pretty much just normal play so far. Nothing really crazy going down. We got our Warp Gate, got a Stalker coming out here for Mr. Young. And he is chronoing out the Warp Gate technology. So I really, really wonder what we're going to see. And, I really want to see DTs. With the new cheaper Dark Shrine, you can't exactly get them faster, but you can get... you can save a little bit of that gas. And really what I feel like what the change that they wanted to do, they made it towards not as much gas to get the DT Shrine. And so what basically what that does is it lets you get DTs, but if you want to tech out of DTs also, you have the room to do that. You can now do that. So they just want you... What Blizzard's whole idea was when making the DT change, they wanted to make the DT more viable while you can still maintain some sort of other tech, some sort of other army, whether it be Robotech, some Colossus, or some Stargate tech behind it. And there we go, John. It is there, the Dark Shrine. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, so I get to see my DT play. And this is really weird. So Yong moved his probe, he came really close to spotting that proxy pylon by Pleasuremind, but didn't see it. And now he's going to throw his own proxy pylon up at the top Xel'Naga tower, and he's now warping in 2 stalkers.
Now, he's also getting a 3rd gate of his own. He does not quite have a 4th base, which leads me to believe he's going to want to expand soon. But with these proxy pylons in the Dark Shrine about halfway done, I don't think there's going to be any expansion happening in this game. Meanwhile, some stalkers aggressing at the front of Pleasuremind's base here from cYong.
Yeah, Pleasuremind's Warp Gate just now finishing. So if Yong clicks on it, he's going to see the Dark Shrine there. I mean, right now it just looks like a pylon. If you saw the health bar, I don't think he clicked on it, but these probes are not mining, and that's really going to be a problem for Pleasuremind right now. The mothership core, or the mothership core not taking any damage at all.
Gonna pick off the probe here, but he already has the proxy pylons he needs. Warping in 1 Dark Templar now. He at this point he has the option. Oh my
Good
god!
force field blocking off that Dark Templar right there.
That force field. Wow. Now I don't know about you, but I know if I would have been that player, that DT would have gotten in my base. No doubt about it. So this DT is gonna have some fun whacking away on these mechanical stalkers here. And then he's going to try and run back up into the main. I don't really know. He's kind of undecided, but I like that he's expanding behind this. He knows that he's not really going to get up into the main base. And he's going to use the DTs for some more defensive, but also offensive once he can actually, move that out. And DTs, one thing that I really want to see happen is a whole lot of counterattacks come out from them.
Yeah, he could do those little sporadic counterattacks with 1 or 2 DTs trying to just get in there and annoy the mineral line. Right now, he's got all his work. He's got the stalkers and sentries on hold position. So that probe trying to get out and do stuff. There you go. Now he's doing the mineral trick.
Oh, Mr. cYong, what are you doing, you sneaky? Getting your own Dark Shrine to counter his DTs?
What?
Oh
wow. I like this. I like where this is going.
So their builds are almost identical at this point. That the gates are actually identical. Now they're both expanding at the same time. Who does have the better economy though? That's what's important. They're actually about equal. Mr. cYong here, he does have a little bit more mineral income. I think that's just
it's just because the probe's transferred. Now it should shoot back up just in a second right here. There we go. Now you see it evening out right now.
Right now, cYong, he had 2 choices. After he saw the DTs, he can either go for the Robotech, which we saw him go for to get out those observers. They're really good at countering DTs because, hey, DTs cannot jump up in the air and slice through your observers. That would be epic, and Blizzard should add that. Definitely. They should also add it to where hallucinations are not hallucinations at all, and you can spawn a free army.
Oh, Lord. Mass sentries plus free army.
I actually got told a story one time that in any matchup, but it was a Protoss player, and that Mr. cYong here sneaking a DT, and I will finish my story later. But sneaking a DT in there indeed, and actually,
ooh, missing the force field right there.
I'm quite confused to be honest, and I'll tell you why. When the hallucination moved by the observer and the DT walked underneath the observer, he could see the observer. I could clearly see it. It was not just there's 2 ways you can see the observer. You see it like it is as in everyone's vision. You can see it now. It's got its little blue tails and that spinning thing on its butt, and it can move around. And that is basically what I saw, except I was looking through cYong's vision at the time. So that is something quite interesting indeed. But another hallucinated Phoenix coming in here, and hallucinations are free now, so it's a free scout. They Protoss players just throw away basically, and it's really great at finding out what your opponent is doing.
Yeah, I mean, Pleasuremind just I guess he knew that thing was gonna come in there. Oh yeah, he does his honors, so he saw it coming in.
Now that is something that's major. The hallucinated the fake Phoenix basically did not see the Stargate. Got extremely close, but did not see the Stargate in the back of Pleasure's base. Now, Young here, he could take a third up at this top position. We see the probe heading up there.
Oh, we've got another hallucinated Phoenix going in, maybe for a second try. If he can get it, yeah, it's going straight for the back of the base. So, yep, it's going to see it. There's nothing there to stop it. Now he's going to see the Stargate.
Yeah, and I think he was really looking for that tech choice. And, he can either go, okay, get in there, you see the robotics bay, and you can be like, okay, so there's going to be Colossus on the field. Now, how should I counter that? Or you can go in there, you can say, oh, okay, Stargate play. Maybe I should get a few more Stalkers than I normally do. Maybe I should get my own Stargate to counter that, which we actually do not see. But it's just an example there. Also, maybe I should get some photon cannons in my mineral line to protect against those oracles. All these things he's taking very precautionary, ways here, I guess would be the way to put it. And the Templar Archives, and I do like this. And we saw this from I believe it was Flip Flop, who Mr. Shu, Clarity Shoe actually, who went for a Void Ray type army, and his opponent went for Storms, and it did not work. So we're gonna see if Mr. Young here can change that.
Yeah, maybe if he can get some good storms off, better storms than his opponent had, it could change, you know, the outcome of that, because I think those storms had a huge effect on it, how they weren't very well placed and they didn't get the army very well.
Now they are going to see the count of how many Void Rays are here, which is only 2. We're also going to see the count of Immortals, which is 4. And Immortals rip through Stalkers, just like Void Rays do now. However, Void Rays rip through Immortals, and Immortals don't do much to air units at all. And, you know, I always thought that was kind of interesting, because when you look at the Immortal, when it's standing still, it's got sort of a it's standing still animation that it does, and it points its guns to the skies, and it just sort of looks back down. And
yeah, I think that's pretty interesting. They can point their guns up, but they can't fire up.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know what I think is weird?
What?
I think that, actually, it's not weird. I like it. I like the GSL version of this map better, because you see the two Zelnaga towers in the middle of the map?
Yes, the ones closest together, or the ones
No, the ones closest together.
Yes.
Those are very powerful, and in the GSL version, they realized how powerful they were. So in the GSL version of this map, after 7 minutes, the Zelnaga towers blow up.
Really?
Yeah, they blow up, and then so it makes it harder to get vision, because if you have those, you pretty much have vision of, you know what your opponent's gonna do. If he's moving out, you're gonna see it, because there's no way to get around it. So
now cYong here, he's making a very interesting choice, and he's going for Mass Gateway, and he's doing sort of an Archon High Templar DT play. It's very, very interesting here, where his opponent is going more of the standard, you know, Colossus, Stalker, some Zealots, some Sentries in there, except he's adding in a few Void Rays, and Void Rays are extremely good.
I wonder, has cYong seen that pylon? He still hasn't seen that pylon that Pleasuremind put down there.
And that hallucinated Phoenix shooting up there at the Mothership Core. But that Mothership Core just was not going to take it and walked away there. I guess they can't really walk. Floated. You know, what is actually keeping the Mothership Core in the air, now that I think about it?
Science. Magic.
Magic. You know, I feel like it would be really cool if they had some sort of feature in which, you know, the High Templar Storm, what the animation does look like. You all are going to see it here probably coming up, what the animation does look like. But if the Mothership Core wanted to move, that animation would just sort of like shot out of it in some direction.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
That sort of electrically cool, awesome thing. And this is a suggestion. I also think that when Zealots die, blood should fly everywhere, but in like blue blood or something, because I don't know about you, but to me, they look like the only actual biological unit the Protoss has.
I like how there's these two DTs just kind of chilling there. Now look, they can't see each other, but they're looking at each other. Oh, now I can see them. Slapped him around a little bit, saying this is my tower.
That DT had a bad day. He got shot by 4 lasers and 2 gigantic laser beams.
Oh wow, there's this Zealot counterattack going into Pleasuremind's base. They're gonna pick off 2 Colossus.
Oh no.
Maybe just one. Oh, nope, it's gonna be 2. Hey, wow, he picked up 2 Colossus with the Zealot run by. That was really good.
Now we can take a look at the upgrades here, and we see 3-1, 3 on the weapons, 1 on the armor for cYong here, and we see 2-0 for the Zealots of Pleasuremind. So keep that in mind as this engagement might happen. And actually, 2 armor just finished for cYong. This could be the engagement he needs to win this game. Here it goes. The Archon shredding it. Oh, the Storms! The Archon still shredding everything on the ground there. Colossus still doing a lot of damage. The Void Rays got off about as much damage as they could, but the Time Warp mixed with the Storms is just insane. And all the Immortals still stand.
Yeah, that engagement was pretty pivotal right there, because those what was it? The upgrades were, I feel like they were a huge advantage that cYong had, because 2-0 versus 3-2. I mean, that's just crazy. That is absolutely insane how bad that is. And cYong's gonna walk to... Oh, wow. Oh, is he gonna come off? There's a cannon. If he gets near the cannon, he won't lose anything. Gonna lose
Oh,
one Colossus. One Colossus goes down.
and oh man, that DT must it must suck to be that DT. You're like, oh, I'm gonna make it. I'm just out of the vision.
And then the observer pops, and it's like, psych.
And if this DT, he needs to run, but instead runs towards them.
Yeah, so he's. Looks like cYong's DTs are not having
You
good
know,
days.
I think it's amazing how there is two pylons that they were both intended to be proxy pylons. One is Pleasuremind's up at the top of the map, and the other one is cYong's up at the Zelnaga Tower to the right. And neither player has seen these, and they've been up since about the 3-minute mark.
Yeah, they've been up for quite a while. It's really weird. I mean, cYong's come so close, so close to spotting Pleasuremind's proxy one, but has Pleasuremind come? Yeah, he's come pretty close too. He just hasn't seen it, and they're gonna pick off. Pleasuremind's gonna pick off Stalker.
And what surprises me even more is every time Pleasuremind tries to push out, there's always a Zealot counterattack in his base. Normally what players will do, they'll send up a few Zealots of their own to go kill wherever that proxy pylon is, because they know the general vicinity that it rests in, but he has not actually decided to do that. Instead, he is now on the defensive as cYong gains a supply lead, and he's getting ground shields 2 along with ground armor 3, and Mr. Pleasuremind here just now starting his ground 2 weapons while he does have the 3 attack. I mean,
yeah, those 2 shields, those will definitely help with the Archons. That'll help them tank the damage that they need to tank. And it'll also help them, you know, just live longer so they can take out the Zealots. And here's the big engagement going down here. Storm's going down on the Archons with the Time Warp holding this Colossus in place. And now they're going to have to back up. And cYong should be able to go attack this base if he wants to. Does he know about it? No, he doesn't. He doesn't even know about it, but he's about to. He's about to find out. Is he? Yes, he sees it. Now he's going to walk in there.
Now Pleasuremind is sending 2 DTs across the map. Oh wait, a gigantic counterattack from Zealots and 1 DT. Did not realize that was going on there. Meanwhile, more DTs and Zealots going into the third of cYong. But meanwhile, cYong's army is kind of down here taking some harassment from these 8 or so Colossus, but they have no supporting units, and they're
stuck in a Time Warp.
Oh,
they were gone in seconds.
But the DT's now getting in here. There's no vision at this third base. It could fall really easily. These 2 DTs coming in here. cYong's warping in Zealots, but the photon cannon goes down. And there is now nothing here to scout these DTs out. And
yeah, so those DTs are going to take out the Nexus.
They are, and they need to go in and kill off the robotics facility before observers get out, but I think it's a little bit too late for that, as there are 2 about to pop out right now, but instead they're just going to have fun killing everything else, you know? If you kill one building, why not kill everything that surrounded that one building? It's something very amazing to look at, and here he comes! Oh, could the 3 DTs technically kill that Colossus on its own?
No, the observer's there, it's going to stop it, but... okay, so Pleasuremind finally took out Pleasuremind finally took out the attacking force that cYong had. And both these players are left in shambles. I mean, cYong's got he's got a good mining base. Actually, he's got 1.5. We'll call it a half. While he waits for the third Nexus. And Pleasuremind's on his 3rd base, and that's running out of minerals pretty quickly. While cYong has this other one that's actually got a good amount of minerals there.
Yeah, and both players, the income, if we actually go look at the income tab here, we can see it's almost doubled for cYong, but he does have another base. He has 2 bases that he's currently mining off of, so keep that in mind. However, the gases are the same, and that's going to really mean a lot. That's going to mean that, okay, cYong should have twice as many Zealots as Pleasuremind has, but they're both going to have the same kind of gas units. Now, of course, it's not going to be the same units as in, like, oh, he has this many Archons and he has this many Archons. No, they're not going to have the same number of Archons. They're not going to have the same number of Immortals. But the gases will end up equaling out here pretty shortly unless he starts to build more gases, which you see him doing up at the top right base. And more GT harass getting denied.
Yeah, taking out 1 cannon before it can finish. But the observer with the Archon call. Oh, wow, that's a big blue army. And with 2 Colossus. That actually looks really nice. HotS. This game is beautiful, dude. Look at it.
You know what? I wish I could look at it, but I'm on low graphics. So,
well, I'm on ultra. And
Yep.
it's a beautiful game. And
It
this
is a
DT's
beautiful.
about to die real quick.
Nope. I feel like the observer's gonna die. Yeah.
Yep, Observer's gonna die first. Actually, he might just... Nope, he's not gonna forget about it. Oh, never mind. He's just gonna leave it in the corner.
And you know, that must pleasure his mind to know that that DT almost died but did not.
And
Um,
cYong's actually got a DT over in Pleasuremind's base, and
oh,
it's picked off 2 probes.
now here's something to keep in mind, John. While wait, does Pleasuremind have any observer? Oh no.
No, he doesn't. Does he? Yeah, he does have a robo, and he's producing a Colossus first, then Observer.
What I was going to say, John, the Archon count favors cYong along with the Zealot and Colossus count. However, there are Immortals in this army for Pleasure. I just can't tell what's actually going to happen here.
Ooh, and oh wow, Pleasure's got backed into a corner hard, and this Archon count is wow. It's just gonna walk over Pleasuremind, and there's definitely not enough for Pleasuremind to hold this. These Archons are just gonna storm their way through everything with the lightning from their fingertips.
You know, I've always wanted to shoot some sort of element from my fingertips ever since I was a kid. Ever since I saw Avatar: The Last Airbender, I've always wanted to do something like relating to the elements and shooting them out of my hand. I guess that's just me, but
I just got this beautiful picture. Look at this. You can't see it. Maybe you can. The cYong or Pleasuremind left the game right as one of his Colossus was blowing up, and look at it. There's like this explosion in midair. It looks pretty sick. Just saying.
all right. Well, that was a great game. We saw amazing DT usage, and I think that's one of the things I've been wanting to see the most out of any PvP game is some DTs being used, actually. And actually, we can take a look here. These 2 pylons, the one in the top and the one at the Zelnaga Tower, stayed alive the whole game.
Yeah, it
Wow.
did. Except Pleasuremind never saw cYong's pylon, so I think we're gonna call that another win for cYong. Because cYong did see Pleasuremind's pylon.
Indeed. So we saw some amazing DT usage here. Anyway, guys, I'm Demon Monkey. With me, I had John today. John doing most of our camera work. So he's amazing at that.
Thank you, thank you.
And he does have an amazing computer. Anyway, I got my computer case today. So for those of you wondering, it looks freaking sweet, and I'm gonna have the parts coming in pretty soon. So I will be able to do some high-level recordings once I get that all built. But if you would not mind, could you please hit that subscribe and like button? Remember, they are free, so it's not like you're paying for anything. So it's always something good. There's actually a stalker about to shoot, because you can see there's a giant blue ball on its eyeball.
Oh, I see it. I've been
Yeah.
looking, while you're talking, I've been looking around at all the things that look pretty on the map, and then there's like the Nexus that Pleasuremind has, the one that's where his 4th would be. There's lightning coming off the side of it.
Alright, now what we're going to end this cast with, and I'm going to show it to you, right next to the Zelnaga Tower that this pylon for cYong has set at all game, right to the left of it there are some bones right there. Now, John, if you would, could you please zoom in on the bones?
I am zoomed in.
Good. Now, in the comments, I want you to leave what kind of animal this was that died here. And the bones somehow are actually on the surface as compared to in the ground. Doesn't make much sense to me, but alrighty then. So leave that down in the comments. And we're going to have some more amazing games for you to watch coming up here pretty soon. Also, what was I going to say? Oh, if you have heard the Swarm and you want to send some replays in, whether it be a 2v2, a free-for-all, and or a 1v1, please send them to the email in the link below, and we will gladly class them. Anyway, guys, I am Demon Monkey, and we'll see you guys next time.
Oh, wait. I have something to say.
Okay, John.
So, as a way of saying thank you to Austin and you guys, I have a beta key. I think we should give it out. What do you think?
I think we should.
I think so too. How do you want to do it?
I think we should do it in another video.
Oh,
But
we're gonna make you guys wait. I'm sorry.
But a little hint there as to what might come in the future. So yeah, if you're looking for beta.
Beta keys.
Uh-huh. So thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next time.